is a few true believers. They believe in the Constitution. They actually believe it. Okay? They know that everything they did do to us is unconstitutional. Everything. They can't mess with the cars out there, turn the lights out. They can't do that. That's against the law. It could happen once or twice, but if they have the whole history of that, right? Some people are going to get wind of it. Okay? That's the people that we're trying to organize. They have to organize themselves as the support mechanism. It's not about FBI and CIA anymore. It's about whether you will let the Israelis, and they're on the last leg, run your country, or will you run your country? That's where it is right now. You can see they're trying to make it look like Russia. Russia don't have nothing to do with Putin as a Zionist. Because you ain't gonna throw no rock and break the window and say, I did it. You're gonna say, look over there. Right? So why is everybody pointing at Russia? Because he's told to be friendly with Russia and all that, and throw them off the scent, right? That's his orders. But what is he doing? He's destroying America. He's destroying it. He's destroying America. The Republican Party, technically destroyed. That's part of his job. And go over our old things and see if we said that day one. Does anybody remember? We said that was his job, to destroy the Republican Party and to weaken the Democratic Party. Because divide, conquer, and rule is a system that the United States used on people, the British used on people, and the Israelis are using it on us. All of us. Get the Arabs, fight each other. That's why we say forgiveness for all the Negroes. I don't care. They can sit over there and lie and chew gum, right? Because ain't no sense of fighting them, right? Because in the Negroes, it might be 5 or 10 of them that's halfway all right. Even them mush-mouth Negroes in New York or wherever they are, right? They might be, or they might get the Holy Ghost. You don't know. See, okay, all right. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam first come teaching Islam, what was the chances that the Quraysh and everybody else in Arabia was going to come to Islam? What is the chances of that? Suppose he did a risk management out of the risk. See, I got too much. I lose too much. Shoot, I got Khadijah here, right? She got plenty of money, and I can make me 1 or 2 trips every few years up to Syria, right? And all them gods, 360 gods? Why? You think I'm gonna tell them people to worship one God, and they got all them gods, and somebody in Arabia come to worship one of them gods, right? Or 2. Everybody got their own special, right, little gods that they like in the Kaaba. And look at all the money they bringing in. Suppose he did that. He didn't do that. He said, La tatraba, right? No reproach on all of them. Abu Sufyan, all of them, right? The same thing we have to do with the Negroes. Okay, let me try to finish up here. So we have to redefine, at this stage, we have to redefine the same vocabulary that we've been using. Now remember, on our old stuff, we had archivists, documentalist, chronicler, historian, educator, trainer, and all that. In other words, this has been our job all along. It's not a new job, right? To archive, to keep records, physical, psychological, mental, of all the stuff that's going on. We've been doing it all the time. Make sure it's documented, chronicled, and then educate and training mean that, remember the other day we said about Bell and the cat. Y'all already heard this story, okay? But just for the heck of it, we'll tell it again. All animals got together. They said, this big cat is eating us all up, one by one. So they come up with a scheme. What are we going to do? We're going to put a bell around the cat. Right? So that's a perfect idea. Then, now who's going to put the bell? Who's going to be stupid enough? Who's going to be bad enough? Who's going to be lucky enough to go up to the cat and put the bell around his neck? Right? That's us. That's what we did to the United States. Everybody all along, everybody's afraid of the United States. Well, we didn't show them we could survive. We're going to do what is right. It don't make no difference what you think, where you're coming from. We're not going to do that because it ain't right. And that's going to win in the end. That's where we're coming from. Some of them know it. Some of them know it. And not some of them. All of them know it. We're saying the ones that are progressive, smart enough, wise enough, and they love their country enough to support where we're coming from. They too scared. Now we're in Bell the Cat 2. See, Bell the Cat number 1 was about the Americans. Right? It took us so long to Bell the Cat that the people are so sleep that they forgot about the whole thing, right? But Bell the Cat number 2 is the Israelis and the Saudis and all of those people. The Saudis are building up all of the enemies, everybody they talk about. The bad murderers and killers. The madrasa system, who is it that fund them? Saudi Arabia, right? And the Israelis. Don't worry about the Israelis. Netanyahu have people outside his house right now demonstrating. So, no, what do we have to use? Can you turn a little coolness? Just a pinch. Just a minute. Anyway, let me finish up. So this is not risk management. It's not risk management dealing with the system. It's not risk management telling them, y'all get together and things are moving so fast, you know what we're going to need to do it just, like I said the other day, when we go outside, it'll be just sitting there on the porch somewhere, right? And it's just what we need, right? They got it. We never thought that we would pull this off by ourselves. And believe it or not, go by what we've been saying, we never thought we would do it without the internal system playing a part. You got to think about it. So use some reason. If you're going to make a new world, all the revolutions. In Iran, the revolution was solidified when? When the Air Force came along with the revolution. One of these systems within the system, when the Air Force joined the rebellion, it was all over. Why? Because an organized arm is there with the discipline and the physical control, right, to do the things that need to be done. Ideologically and spiritually, it takes a whole collaboration. Remember, we want we want to influence the direction of change. Remember that? We don't want to control nobody, make nobody do right. Okay, that's where we are now. But it's not that we're in a weak state, we're in a strong state. And we just want to keep cruising along, doing what we're doing. We can do that, but I don't think it would be part of our job. I don't think that would be part of our responsibility. What we've been chronicling and preparing, right? And documenting all this stuff, and then acting on it. Little stuff like how to punk the FBI. You don't know nobody to tell the FBI they're a bunch of punks. And that's simple, right? That ain't nothing big. But it's big to them. Who you calling a punk, nigga? Well, we'll do this to you and do that. Suppose you go down to the FBI office with how to punk the FBI, and you outside the FBI, and the people are coming. Oh, thank you very much. That's the FBI. Oh, punk the FBI. Oh, thank you. Right? They already know. I'm telling you. When I called that snitch number and when they blew up the Murray's Federal Building, it had that number from over there. They said, we don't want to even hear it. I said, you got a snitch number. You got a snitch number that said if you got any information, call. They didn't want to hear it because they know it was me calling. Right? They know it was me calling, and I told them what I thought. I said, that Arab y'all got, it ain't him. I said, white folks did that. White folks did it. It's simple. Right? If you blew up Waco, killed all the kids, right? They blew up, where did they put the truck in front of the nursery, right? It's right in front of the nursery, so they kill the white, you know how white folks do, they shoot. Eye for eye, tooth for a tooth. Justice prevailed, the Hammurabi Code, all thing. Anyway, let me get here a few more minutes. So, we don't feel uncomfortable incorporating, like you say. If a lady ain't called me in 10 years and called me and say, oh, I'm sorry I didn't stick around, whatever it was, something, what is it, that message? It was something like, I should have went to, yeah. But I'm ready now to go to California, I'm ready to go now. Right. Yeah. Okay, and I got a call a few weeks ago, I haven't called back. But that's part of the curly-headed crew. It's not risk management, because the person may have evolved. And can't nobody hurt me, right? So other people will say, well, how you gonna mess with somebody and they might be funny? Not might be funny, hell they are funny. They might be, everything they do is funny. It's funny. They're part of the curly-headed crew. The curly-headed crew. So it's all right, but it's not risk management. Risk management is when you invest in a business and you got to figure out how much risk do I have to take to get me a return. It ain't that in Islam. There's no such thing as risk management. It's awkward reason. But if you don't do the right thing, you're taking a risk of going to hell. Now that's a real risk management there. So anyway, I'll try to letter of introduction. Now, anybody know any big shots? And we'd like to do about 15. Remember, I made these up, so anybody that wants these. This is our tactics. I was trying to get a letter of introduction, but I don't have it. We go by and we tell the people who we are. There's freedom. You can go anywhere you want. If we go where I'm going, we just say, hey, I gave the guy one for Springfield. No, I gave, the little Afghani brother? Okay. This is about our taxes. Our taxes is about $8,000 or something. Almost $9,000. So that adds up a little bit. So now remember, with all this gangster talk, we start from scratch. You know what I mean? When we say, yeah. And it's not bad, it's good, it's healthy for you to be close to broke. When we gave our friend money before, we was down, remember that? $581. That was our resource. It was back to 100 in no time. But we want to, you can go to try to meet the board of directors, anybody you can, and tell them that they can take any one of these or all of them, right? Yeah, and just help us take care of it. Yeah, help us take care of it. So that's what we want to do with our taxes. I guess y'all had a meeting yesterday. I don't know what it was all about, but I'm sure it was fine. So whatever you kind of hooked up to do, just knock it on over. You don't have to have no permission or whatever, slip to say that I can do this. Just look around. That's the way I did all the brothers. When I would deal with like Imam Jamil's community and them, I just looked at what I thought they needed. That's why when Imam Jamil was in the county jail, he said, I want to thank you for everything you did or doing. I said, no, we thank Allah. He said, I've already thanked Allah. He said, you didn't come down there asking me what you need, what can I do. In fact, we took him something, it was something that the day he got arrested because we was going down there already. But anyway, I said many times I've been in the penitentiary, I don't have to ask nobody. All I have to do is what kind of case you got. Then I already know what to do. Many times I've been to jail, I don't have to ask nobody, what did the brother need, right? Okay, if you want to get him away, I ain't going to tell him. Here's what somebody was saying. Somebody was saying that somebody was going down there to hook him up, had a family with him anyway. Some of the child was a family. Hit the Mexican border, see a lot of y'all, people coming up this way, freedom is coming up here. It's not that way with us. When we hit that Mexican border, boy, look at here, start stretching out. I mean, as soon as we get across the border, so a lot of us, for us, freedom goes the other way when you got cases. People. So that's what they was saying. They was going to take him with his family, hit that border, get down, and then take a right turn later on in Yucatan and go to Belize. Belize is Negroes, used to be British Honduras. And maybe buy a ranch and just settle down for a couple of years. Don't do nothing, right? Just take it easy and relax. Yeah, raise bananas or fruit or anything. Just get your mind clear. Make your plan. They try to get you under pressure. Okay. So we did this. Review effects, attitude, exercise, diet, all of that stuff, peak performance. Each time you take on a new period like we are right now, this is when you go through your peak performance stuff. You improve your diet, improve your exercise, so you become a peak performer, right? And one of the last things, write your own book. We talked about that before. We believe not only writing our own book, but writing other people's part in the book. Used to we just write our own book. Now we want to write it where everybody got a good part, a big part. You know why? Because that's what it calls for. So, you want drama, if you want adventure, this is the place to be. No, this is a great future. Hey man, I don't care what nobody say. And I'm not gonna repeat this, but maybe just once. From how many people do you know, like, just think about it, like in Oakland. Everybody know Oakland. East Oakland Enterprises, a black economic enterprise zone, where everybody is getting money. All niggas get money for themselves. All the big Negroes, Ward brothers, pastors and all that, they got money for themselves. But Oakland hit the map when East Oakland Enterprises kicked in. See, everybody else outside, they talk about the Black Panther Party. But inside of Oakland, they talk about us. Because that's what, right? Young black people buying their own houses. And this is in the late 60s and early 70s. You know, it's like you playing Godfather when you're 22, 23 years old. You leave the country when you're 26 and you feel old then, because you feel young now. At 76, 75, you feel younger than you did when you left. But the point is that when you mention Musa or Tunde, nobody knows what that is. That's the great waterfall. Lake Victoria, they call it. It's a great waterfall. You know, how many people have been up and down the Nile, the pyramids, Angel Falls, 3,000-mile drop down in Venezuela. You might have saw it in some movie. Or the great ancient city of Machu Picchu. What I'm trying to say is all of that stuff. Suppose you involved in every movement and every activity during your time, on the same level that we're involved in this, right? It don't make no difference whether nobody know it or not. You're not trying to win a pocket, right? It doesn't make any difference whether the people know it or not. It's whether the job gets done. It's whether the job gets done. So, if they don't think that's an adventure,